Got my little pumpkin design that the lady made. Anyway,
I don't know. I don't think I have any decorations yet.
well, you're not even at home, so I would hope you don't.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Um, all right, so I guess I'll just
What are we calling it?
I don't know, man. Nothing yet. I was thinking.
You just gotta kind of like edit, put something together, like just kind of edit it and put something on it later or something. Or,
No, I made a template, so you can't see it right now, but it's actually a cork board with two hollowed out Polaroid pictures. So you're in one Polaroid, I'm in the other, and I have our names on it. But I don't have any like fancy like show title or anything. Um,
it's all good.
I'm trying to play around with stuff too. I'm thinking, well, Tehol and Andy TNA, but that's kind of like it's kind of like who hasn't done that. So
Right.
um, anyway, well, it's already recorded, so I might as well just get into it and introduce ourselves and welcome everybody and say, hey, we're Tehol and Andy. That, of course, is Tehol. I'm Andy, and we're no fools, if you will. So the reason we're doing this show now, and if you've been following us with the Nickel Press so far, basically we kind of decided to reroute. And originally, you and I had an idea to do this little weekly, montage of different sporting events because you and I are just like so diverse with what we feel like talking about at times. So we tried pigeonholing ourselves just into the fantasy stuff on a weekly basis, and like I said, we're no fools. So we didn't want to keep trying to spin the wheels in mud and try to give some people a little bit more entertainment, if you will, and that's pretty much what it is. So. We're gonna get going with this. We're still, in development, trying to figure out a name or whatever. But this is a very casual, laid-back kind of show, and hopefully, we'll entertain you and enlighten you, educate you. Um, can you fill in any other words that you might want to add there?
Yeah, man, I've been excited for this. I've been waiting for this. This is what I'm all about here. I don't want to be limited to fantasy football. All I do all week is talk about fantasy football. I write sports columns on fantasy football. Every time I try to get diverse and talk about a TV show or something, I got people being like, oh, like, this isn't a show. Like, why are you talking about politics? Why are you talking about this? Some people like it, but some people don't. They just want the info, and that's all they want. I like to get into some other stuff, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and I agree, and I try to refrain from talking politics on Twitter just because it's
Right.
politics,
Seems like a
religion.
good idea.
It just seems like it goes nowhere, and there's so many comments I could add to these debates and the Trump show and Hillary and Bernie Sanders, everything. But I mean, come on, let's
Yeah, I
be
get
honest.
caught up in it a little bit. A little bit. I just like to see what people say. I like to get in the mix. I don't. I try not to like play a particular side or show my true feelings. I try to just comment like on both sides. Like, really, you're gonna vote for this guy or this girl or whatever.
What's funny though is in some ways you are like the Donald Trump of the fantasy industry, just smart, to the point, no holds barred. Don't care who you offend. Don't care who you piss off.
Toupee.
No,
Is that
that's all real. Actually, where are you? Because I noticed you have some new scenery today. So
Yeah, I'm in a little town over here. It's like it's only about an hour away from where I actually live, but we're doing a little group thing over here. So I had to be put up in this nice hotel here. I got a nice little view. I think I can almost see the water. It's called Edmonds, Washington.
it looks pretty from where I am. I don't know if I don't know if I have the whole shot in the in the camera work we're doing here, but um,
It's a big ass room. It's a big ass room. They did me up proper. I don't know what everybody else's room is looking like, but I'm happy with this
it,
one. I couldn't be happier.
it's not a Holiday Inn Express, is it?
No,
All right.
no,
So you're not going to be any smarter tomorrow, is what you're
no,
saying. All right.
no.
All right. Well, let's jump right into the sports stuff. There are a lot of topics that I actually want to get into. I don't know how far we'll get with all these, um, but Lamar Odom has just captivated headlines in the last 24 hours, and with all due respect, he kind of deserves to be given his stature. Just in sports and athletics, and then his ties in pop culture with the Kardashian connection and all that kind of stuff. I personally have run in some of the same circles as Lamar. my barber is a stylist to the stars. He actually, cuts Kanye's hair and Usher and the Black Eyed Peas and.
You're so fresh all the time.
Well, I got the hat on. I actually got to go see him tomorrow. But he actually grew up with Lamar himself and was Lamar's stylist for a while. He used to go out to LA and style him. And I used to go and watch him play in high school when he was playing for Christ the King. They had a monster team. It was Speedy Claxton and Craig Claxton played point guard in the NBA, and Lamar Odom.
Odom was the legend back then too. Yeah, Claxton was big time too. Do they have anyone else?
Yeah, no, they had four big D1 players on the same team. I'm trying to.
Odom, like in high, like he was like the dude. Didn't he have to do like did he do like a year at prep school or something?
No, he.
Berkeley, and then he ended up at like
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Yeah. It was something, I forgot exactly what. I don't think he went to a prep school. I think he was supposed to go to UNLV or something. I might be confusing him with Sunshine. He was supposed to go somewhere else, and he wound up at Rhode Island, and then he wound up just going pro. But it's really kind of a sad story, and I've seen a lot of people, like, I've seen people mention it. People are tweeting about him like he's dead, like rest in peace kind of stuff. And it's like, I mean, it really doesn't look good right now from what the reports are, but it's really.
I really have kind of lost touch. I haven't been able to be on my phone and Twitter and all that as much as usual. So I'm catching up on baseball scores. The Odom thing, I don't see it till I get back.
Yeah.
Is he like potentially gonna die?
Yeah, apparently he's brain dead at this point. I don't, like I said, I wasn't there. I don't have accurate, details, but from what I've heard, he's brain dead. He found him unconscious in a brothel in Vegas, and apparently he OD'd on like some herbal Viagra or something, and had a heart attack.
I tweeted something earlier about where I get herbal Viagra. Where can I get some of that? I didn't know. I mean, I don't think that's maybe because he makes it. Sounds like he was on a lot of different drugs. And I know he's kind of struggled with that.
Yeah, I think I would classify that under the too soon category. You could even put a hashtag on that if you want, too soon.
I might just delete that one, so I don't put that one.
If you were indeed serious and this was like for personal consumption on your trip, on your business trip, then by all means, it was a legitimate question. The biggest thing I found to be like tragic about this story was initial reports were that nobody was at his side in the hospital, and the members of this brothel wanted to go and be in the room with him just so he had some support. I mean, how?
I heard the Kardashians bounced out over there, so that was nice of them to do so.
Oh, so you've heard more updates since this first aired, but
I saw that they were there, kind of freaking out, even though it seemed like Khloe's been kind of ditching him, or he's been trying to track her down, showing up in place where she's at. Sounds like he's getting a little like he's
stalkerish.
Getting kind of a little
stalkerish.
For whatever reason, I don't know how this chick became like everybody like every NBA player like and rapper like this chick. I'm like this chick like 3 years ago like this was the ugly like she's not. I mean she's had a lot of work done. I'm feeling that too.
She's had a lot of work done.
Everyone's so stuck on her. I'm confused. He's just a lonely dude, maybe. I don't know.
She's had a lot of work done. She's also not exactly in the petite category. She's like twice the size of her sisters, right? So I guess she's built for the NBA lifestyle. But you kind of live that NBA and rapper lifestyle. You wouldn't no Khloe for you?
Yeah, Khloe, she's not my thing. I don't really. I mean, I think she must have got butt implants or something. I'm down with the body, but like she's gotten too fake. Because I just remember her when the Kardashians first came on. I think that's the only time I ever actually maybe watched that show when it first came out.
Yeah.
And she was like the weakest link back then, man. I mean, Courtney was dime piece compared to her, and not even close. I mean, the younger sisters now. She's still in last place to me, but I mean, she's almost like I'd maybe like she walked up to the hotel right now. I'd probably get down, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, and to transition to another NBA story, unless you got more that you want to talk about Lamar, I want to say, I'm saying a prayer for you, Lamar.
Yeah, it's a really sad thing. I don't like people making fun of it. I don't like, the Steve Sarkisian thing is also going on up here in Washington. He coached here.
Yeah.
He was fired at something like these old dudes just dogging him. I mean, just like he's just a piece of garbage. I'm like, he's got a pretty serious problem. I mean, like, I'm just like, and then the Odom, I mean, the guy's near. I don't know if people are making fun of him or not.
No, I think they're not necessarily making fun of him. I think they're talking about it more like it's already like he's gone already.
He's just dead.
Yeah. So, but yes.
So, yeah. Prayers to that guy. I love that guy. Good, great player, and I enjoyed watching him. Hope he pulls through.
Yeah, me as well. And but like I said, to kind of transition a little, and I know you might be used to us talking football or baseball, but we're hoops guys too, and it's kind of funny that the NFL. I just heard on the news the other day that the NFL had its longest arrest-free streak, or the first month in like years with no arrests or something like that. And these aren't necessarily arrests we're talking about, but Lamar Odom having this setback. And did you hear the Derek Fisher, Matt Barnes love triangle saga? That's another kind of pop culture.
I stay on TMZ, bro, all day long. Yeah, that's a good one right there. I mean, I know that those guys played together.
Yeah.
For a few years, it's just a really odd story. I mean, I don't know how good of friends they are. So I mean, I've seen this kind of thing happen before. Never really with kids involved, because this was more back in the day, like high school, like early college years, where I had some friends that they kind of, the other dude's boyfriend, or the other dude, not the boyfriend, would somehow slide in and eventually hook up with the chick.
Yeah.
And they'd be together, and then the guy wouldn't be friends with his best. I've seen some crazy stuff, but never really with the kids involved. So that's unfortunate. If they were good friends, I'd be pretty. Even if they were just kind of friends, I'd be like, no.
It does happen. You're right. It does happen, but I don't know what level the kids were involved. I know that was kind of the trigger for Matt Barnes to go over, and I don't know what Derek Fisher has been doing, but this is like two. Yeah, well, apparently there were like 10 people at this dinner party, though, so it wasn't like he was there alone. But if the kids were upset that mommy's friend Derek is here, then I'm imagining he's been over more than just that dinner party.
Yeah, he's been making late night visits. But with the thing that was kind of strange, or that I heard, was that did he skip like a Knicks event or a Knicks or something?
He missed practice
or do something so he could like be at this thing. It's just like, come on, Doug. Your team is like the worst team in the NBA. Like, we need you involved. Like, you were gifted. Now that the thing to do now is hire these guys straight after they retire as a head coach, which before, was ridiculous. But
I was going to get into that. He missed Monday's practice because he said his flight got delayed or canceled or postponed or something like that, and it was out of his control. It kind of got swept under the rug, but. You said the Knicks and the Knicks coaches. Let's not forget, he wasn't coaching yet. It was the one season he played with the Knicks. But Jason Kidd signed with the Knicks, was kind of like a player coach unofficially then. And he had the DWI in the Hamptons before they ever played a game. And now you got Derek Fisher with this embarrassing, situation. And it's just this.
Fish is like the choir boy. I mean, he was always like Mr. Nice Guy. He went to Utah for some money and then somehow conned his way getting. My daughter.
Yeah.
Better doc. So can you please trade me
right.
back to the championship contending Lakers? I was like, come on, dude, you can't pull it. He's made some incredibly clutch shots. He's a good player, but I'm not. Maybe he's not like the choir boy he's supposed to.
No, he's like the Bobby Orry of point guards. Like, just found his way on every team. But yeah, you're right. Maybe he's not as squeaky clean. But to answer your question, apparently he and Barnes were in fact good friends at one point. But even more interesting with this story was they were timing out how far it is from where the Grizzlies are in training camp, and when the phone call ended, and how many minutes it was in between, and was he really 15 minutes away or was he 100 miles away? It's just it's crazy, and it's kind of unnecessary. It's kind of NFL-ish, from if you will. But sticking to LA, and as you mentioned, the baseball playoffs, I've been wrapped up. I haven't really been paying attention to any other series. Hopefully you can kind of fill me in on what's going on with them. I know the Cubs are like hitting home runs at a record-setting pace, but I've been fixed on this Mets-Dodgers series. And I'm not a Met fan. I'm a Yankee fan, but I am in New York. It's kind of hard. I had a couple coworkers going to the game the other night and bragging about it, and then seeing them later that night, and obviously they had a good time with that 13-run blowout or whatever it was. But did you see the game last night? Did you see Kershaw?
I saw a good chunk of it. Again, I was got back here kind of late with all these games going on, and the daytime. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't realize games are on at like 1 o'clock my time, or they're at like 10 a.m. my time. Some of these games are. And I'm like, what? It's like I have no time to watch these games.
Right.
So I just kind of like read up on them and check in on the scores during the day a little bit. But yeah, the Cubs, I'm pumped. They vanquished the Cardinals. So now this year we don't have the Cardinals. We don't have the Giants. Like the whole thing is just.
The Pirates. The Pirates are out.
I can't take it anymore. These teams, I'm just like, how are these teams that good? Like the Giants get like on a hot streak just out of nowhere, and come on. I'm tired of it. I'm glad they're done.
You don't like the Giants?
I'll take the Mets.
You got deGrom going. You got deGrom, my favorite guy, going. Game 5. How does that guy not win?
Didn't have to pitch. I don't know. Is Greinke going to come through though? That is a very tough game on the road with Greinke. So it'll be good if Greinke can come through. I like the Dodgers if he has one of his. You're going
against the deGrominator though. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
As long as it's not Matt Harvey, man. I lost respect for that guy, man.
For his antics off the field or for his pitching?
Well, his pitching hasn't been that great either. He got lucky last game that they lit up but Brett Anderson.
Brett Anderson, yeah.
He got lucky there because he was kind of struggling a little bit. The off the field stuff, the pitch count thing at first, and then now he's their third starter because to limit his. I'm like, come on, dude. You're trying to win. If you're their best pitcher or their second best, maybe he's not. I think deGrom's better at this point anyway. But if he's not the number, he's got to be the 2 over Syndergaard. Come on, man. I just don't like it. And then he's missing and stuff. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Are you a Jim Brewer fan at all? The comedian?
But of course.
All right. Have you seen any of his rants? He's a big Met fan. In New York, he's a big Met fan.
Oh, really? No, I'm not sure
he's had a couple. YouTube or look it up. Search it. He's had a couple rants on Matt Harvey, just telling him to shut the hell up and just play your role. Yeah. He's good with that. And speaking of these baseball players, you have the MLB at bat app. Do you have that?
I do.
Have you noticed an increased amount of alerts? I used to get maybe like 1 alert a month from the app in years past, and in the last month, it's like every 5 minutes, it's telling me, this guy's on deck, swinging a bat on deck. He might pinch hit. Like, I don't need to know this stuff, and it's almost made me like not pay attention to what's happening in baseball. I'm getting so many alerts. Do you get that?
You know what? I deleted it because my phone got at capacity or whatever. I'm like, baseball season's over. I'm deleting this app.
Yeah.
How much space it takes up, but I deleted it, so I'm not dealing with that anymore. I'm not really following. I just have to go to ESPN, which, by the way, I don't even know how to get to ESPN's regular, actual desktop view page on my phone anymore. It takes me to
the mobile, which sucks. It takes you to the mobile version, which sucks.
Straight up garbage.
Yeah. What you got to do.
I want to write emails to these people. I'm like, what is this? This isn't 1992. Take me back before they did this update. You used to be able to click the button on the bottom that said desktop version.
Yeah.
Now, I think I Googled it and there's a way to do it, but I'm like,
it's still there.
It's terrible.
It's still there. Yeah. What you got to do though is you got to scroll really fast to get to it, because if you go to the bottom of the page, it'll start loading another set of articles. So you got to scroll really fast and click it before it loads those new articles.
I'm not feeling that phone version at all. That's trash.
It's no fun. It's no fun at all. Any other things taking your interest in the baseball world?
Blue Jays. When I was glad to see the Blue Jays win, just because I'm kind of, they got kind of this nasty murderer's row kind of lineup. David Price, Stroman. I'm kind of fans of these kind of players. I'm just I'd rather see them than Texas move forward. Texas. I'm like, how did you even sneak in here in the first place? Hamels is cool. You got a couple cool at bat, but I want to see what this Blue Jay team can do against the best.
You said murderer's row, though. I mean, let's not undersell what they have in Texas though. They have a pretty decent lineup there as well. You got Fielder. You got
Fielder. I mean, did he barely crack? I don't know what happened to this guy's power. He had a great season. I don't know what happened to this guy's power. Like this guy weighs 400 pounds. Cecil Fielder's son hitting homers when he's 7. The guy used to hit like 40 jacks. Now he can't.
Yeah.
Now he's hitting like 20 jacks, and I'm like, dude, what happened? I mean, Beltre. He's a little older. I mean, they got a couple guys. Toronto. We got Batista, Encarnacion, Donaldson, Tulo, Russell Martin. It was like, people have all totally forgotten about him. I mean, these guys just.
you sound like a closet Blue Jays fan.
I kind of am, man. I'm kind of a bandwagon. I'm kind of a player. I call myself a players fan. I'm one of those LeBron dudes who just kind of like, where he's at, that's where I'm rooting for. Shaquille O'Neal, where he's at, that's who I'm rooting for. I like certain players. That's my squad.
Okay. Who wins a foot race between Prince Fielder and Eddie Lacy?
Eddie Lacy's roasting his ass.
Really? Have you seen Fielder can fly?
Really?
I mean,
there's no way, dude. I don't know if I don't even recall him running to first base, but I mean, Eddie Lacy is the running. I can't see it.
It might have only been like one play, but I remember seeing him hustle and being amazed that he was faster. He was faster than I would have imagined he would be. But that's kind of a jab at Lacy for just looking like.
Yeah, what's up with him, man? I see a lot. I don't own him in any leagues, or maybe I do own him in one league, but I've seen a lot of people just complaining like he hasn't really touched.
He hasn't. You can curse on this, by the way. You can curse on this, by the way.
Does he have any touchdowns?
No, he doesn't. Does he? He might have one. He might have one receiving one, if anything. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about him, to be honest. I tweeted out earlier today that owning him is like him literally sitting on your chest, and at his size, that's not really a good thing.
So what is he, about 280?
At least. I mean,
he's looking thick. I mean, he was on everybody. Like, people had him as kind of like a
fringe
top 3 guy.
Yeah, fringe top. Right. Some people even making the argument for first overall.
Yeah, I was seeing that kind of early in the process, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Is that just because people are projecting that Green Bay's going to run the ball more, and then I guess after Jordy Nelson got hurt, you could assume that, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, you wanna shame me? 2 weeks ago, one of my home leagues. It's a 2 flex, but you can flex 1 quarterback. So basically, it could be a 2 quarterback league. We have Tannehill and Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger goes down, but it's kind of important to have that second quarterback. So had a deal on the table to give Lacy and Ben and get back Gurley and Bridgewater and Castle, and turned it down because Bridgewater had the same buy as Tannehill, so we would have had 0 quarterbacks that week coming up. This was 2 weeks ago. Turn it down. Gurley goes off. Lacy's still stuck in his tracks, and those guys are laughing, offering us Castle straight up for Lacy. So that's kind of like the shame right there.
That's where we're at right now.
That's
Lacy. I wouldn't want to be in that position.
Yeah, no, that's where we're at. Well, they would do Bridgewater, but still, it's not. It's whatever. I'm
Teddy isn't that exciting, but I guess if it's 2 QBs, any quarterback is better than any other position, basically. So.
Oh, essentially, yeah. There's like no quarterbacks left at all. It's like you can get Matt
Castle's an actual trade asset.
Yeah, you could get Matt McGloin right now if you wanted. That's about it. So, and speaking of big guys, again, this show is going to be kind of all over the place. So if you're not prepared for that, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to try to entertain you and go across the board. Speaking of big guys, baseball, football, have you seen this kid at Baylor? He's like a hybrid, like fullback, tight end, lineman, defensive lineman. He's like 6.
I've seen just a few of the highlights. I haven't got a chance to really watch them play many full games this year. What is his future, you think, or future position, or is he a pro prospect, or what is his?
He's 6'7", like 410 pounds, and is actually like athletic and mobile. Like, I mean,
those are my favorite kind of freak shows right there. I love it.
I mean,
what's his best position?
I don't anywhere. He played quarterback. He was the kicker in high school. It's. I mean,
a guy like that at my high school was probably more like 280 or something like that. But yeah, he was like like a D tackle. But then he was like, I don't think he ever played varsity kicker, but he transferred schools and he was the kicker on a different team. And
okay.
Yeah, just a monster. It's pretty. I love it when stuff like that happens. I like watching stuff.
But I mean, yeah, this kid's a beast. I mean, if you haven't seen him, just check out. I think Hayward. I think is his last name. I could be wrong. Just look up Baylor Monster, and you're likely to find your way to him. So let's keep with the football theme. And since we were talking about quarterbacks, what do you make of Josh McCown? Because I think this guy is like, I want to like say no, but he's got 2 300-yard games and now 400-yard game 3 weeks in a row. Like, what's going on here?
Don't say no, just say yes. It feels so much better. Josh McCown, I remember back when Denny Green was coaching the Cardinals, they brought in Josh McCown. He wanted to make him the starter. He's like, oh, he's this 40-inch vertical. He's got speed. Right. He's got a cannon. Just didn't work out. He wasn't ready yet. And then you never heard of him again until Cutler went down a couple years ago. And then he went to Tampa, which was a pretty crappy situation, although they thought, you got B-Jax, Mike Evans, kind of similar to Marshall Jeffrey, so it's kind of surprising that he was so terrible.
But wasn't he hurt last year too?
Yeah, and he got hurt, and it's like, the games he played, he just didn't really see nothing like what we're seeing right now.
Or what we saw in Chicago for 8 games or whatever it was.
It was pretty bad. But what blows my mind right now is that, other than like that game or two from Benjamin, and one of Benjamin's game, if not both of them, are with Johnny Football in there at quarterback. With McCown, I'm like, who is he throwing to? Like Gabriel, like he's throwing to these slot guys, like the bums like Hartline and Bo aren't even getting the ball.
Right.
So it's like the running backs,
right.
And then the legend that is Barnige, right?
Yeah.
Ace in the hall, dude. This guy's saving my season in a league or two.
Right.
I mean, where did this guy come from? I was like, how could you let Jordan Cameron walk? Like, why would you do that? And then I'm like, oh,
right.
This guy is better than him, like, right now. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's made 3 guys, like, relevant and, like, almost household names now. As you mentioned, Barnige, Gabriel, and Travis Benjamin. Who?
Yeah, and he's hitting the right. I mean, and then Duke Johnson's becoming a nice receiver. I think a couple weeks ago he might have had his best receiving game.
Yeah.
Crowell had some decent yardage this week receiving, at least on 1 or 2 catches. So seems like he's really spreading it around. They don't have like that one guy. Like Barnige is almost like the go-to guy, and then it's just kind of they fill in with these kind of. I mean, where's Hawkins at? I mean, he was kind of the guy I was kind of excited about.
He actually had a big game this past week, didn't he?
Did he? Okay, yeah. I mean, I thought like out of all those dudes, like he would be getting maybe the most work, but
yeah. But speaking of Hawkins and big game though, I remember Red Zone flipped over and they were trying to run a fade route to him in the end zone, like in the red zone, and the commentator just said like, "Hey, I don't think you want to run that play to a 5'7" guy." But
did he pull a Percy Harvin and
no.
Just like doesn't know how to locate the fucking ball? Like,
no, he's just too short. It was incomplete. All right.
He used to kind of defend Harvin, but a couple of these games I was watching, whether they were like could have caught him or not, he just looks like he's kind of lost on any ball where he has to make an adjustment. Like he just doesn't look like he has any clue. Like I'm like, okay, stick to the slot work. Why is when Sammy Watkins and all these guys are out, you're down to their 3rd running back? I mean, wouldn't the offensive? Is Harvin just incapable of doing what he did back in Minnesota for like that year? I mean, this guy would get
apparently
like 20 touches a game. Like he was a monster.
Apparently, yeah, because like they were trying to force feed him in Seattle, right? And that didn't work out. They split the locker room.
Just like on bubble screens, it was just bullshit. I mean, it didn't work out very well, but
and then he had like 2 or 3 good weeks with the Jets at the end of last season. It kind of reignited, the belief, and you were all over him. But how does he look again going out for passes? He just gave an impression.
I don't know. I mean, he's just like he can't locate the ball. Like he's charging in his fucking hand. I mean, it's just like, because I told people, I'm like, man, I think he can go deep, but the ones that he has ever gone deep, I mean, are just like perfect balls. Like, we're just like, it's got to be just absolute dime, where it's just like, it's right there. Like, he doesn't have, like, anytime he's got to shift, turn, look up, locate, it's no go.
Please.
I'm pretty disappointed. I mean, with Watkins, McCoy, and then your boy, Carlos Williams out last week,
I thought that.
Get this guy 15 times. Hand him off the ball and do whatever you got to do. He's your best playmaker you got left right now. What are you doing?
The last time we spoke, I thought you were laying claim to Carlos Williams. So he's back to being my boy. I'll take him. And I think he's back out of concussion protocol. But please, can this be
I'm giving you the credit. He's your boy because
he is.
You kind of turned me on to him. But, or you did. You didn't kind of turn me on to him.
All right. You're just making this worse. You're just making this worse, and I don't know if anybody picked up on this, but please let this be the last time. You said a guy is turning you on, going deep, and perfect balls, all in reference to literally one of the same guys in the last 30 seconds. So I hope we like steer clear from such close. All right. Are you down on your Bills now? Because I notice. I noticed you've kind of switching allegiances here to another AFC East team, kind of in the same geographical region as the Bills Mafia. Does Bills Mafia know? Is this because Tyrod is hurt? Or
I would never betray Bills Mafia. They're kind of like my second home guy. Since I discovered Tyrod, since he was traded there, the Bills have become kind of my second home team. Because I just loved all the weapons, but now these guys are all hurt. Like, I mean, I didn't know Watkins was gonna now he's talking like, well, I'm just gonna play on the hamstring. If it pops, it pops. I'm like, okay, that's great. So I'm expecting him to go down almost immediately. It's like you take him out the mix, that's their best deep threat, most dynamic player they had.
But he hasn't been in the mix though.
I know, but it looks so much nicer when he's out there because then the other guys can get open. I mean, and then Harvin, there's more stuff probably around the middle. They can't focus on him and Clay as much. And then, Robert Woods has definitely been a very big disappointment for me. I thought he would step up a little bit. He's done absolutely fucking nothing in the last two, even with these guys out. I'm like, damn, dude, you're not even close to what I thought. I thought he was at worst, was a really, really solid number 3, like for real. Like I thought he had legit talent during college. Real disappointed with him. I mean, Chris Hogan, Whitey is
7-Eleven.
What?
7-Eleven. Chris Hogan, right? Always open.
I mean, yeah, he's always open, and Woods just isn't. I mean, he's just. I mean, Tyrod Taylor hasn't put these guys on his back last week. This guy's making crazy runs. He's getting horse tackled.
Yeah. And they almost won that game. And they almost won that game with literally like nothing.
Yeah, they did win the game.
Against the Giants?
What?
Wait.
No, not the Giants. I'm talking about last week against Tennessee on the road.
Okay, yeah. I'm thinking of 2 weeks ago then.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. That was, oh my God, 2 weeks ago. That was just on like the offensive.
Wait, time out.
Worst penalties I've ever seen.
You just made me realize though that's how busy I've been the last week and a half, which is why I haven't done one of the Hanging Einstein shows, which is why we kind of didn't do the Sunday show this past week, and I've
breather. It's all good. I needed a little time off to kick my feet up and just.
I haven't had any time off though. I've literally worked about 100 hours in the last 10 days. I just did 48 out of the last 57, and.
What's that like? How do you make it through? Where do you sleep? Is it like the movies? Like you got the bunk at the firehouse? Like you slide down the pole when it's go time?
Yeah.
Like tell the regular people out there that aren't man enough to be firefighters.
It's a lifestyle, man.
How it goes.
It's a lifestyle. It's
Where do you sleep? What do you do?
We don't sleep. We rest. First of all, we don't sleep. We rest. You know what it is. It's like being on a team still. I played sports all the way through college basketball, low level D1. It's like being on a team still. You got your your veterans, your rookies, the captain, the coaches. You know, you play pranks on each other. You know, you get in some dire situations. You know, it's who's gonna hit the game winner at the buzzer. Only it's a little bit different. It's, you know, who's gonna put this fire out or who's gonna rescue this person.
Right.
But
your life's on the line, man. Much respect. I always wish I did something like that. I'm like, man, if you fireman, police would be pretty cool. And then I'm like,
yeah.
I got a couple friends who are firefighters. Yeah, you know, it's like the people, you know, you see stuff when the guy, you know, people die, and you're like, Jesus, this is a very, it's probably about the most dangerous profession there is it not?
It's up there. It's actually,
underwater. Well, that one's pretty dangerous.
it's actually not. I forgot what the number one is. I think like sanitation or something like that is. But it's interesting you say it, and you know, we could talk about this more in depth at some point. I don't know if I'm entertaining or boring people with this, but you mentioned, you know, people die and things like that. It's like, it's true, you know, it's reality, it's real life. And that's actually kind of why I took the job. I basically just took the test, not knowing what I was going to do after college. And I became friends with somebody who was on the job, and I was in the process of taking the test, the written test, the physical, everything like that, and just moved further and further towards the top of the list. And 9/11 happened, and I was down at Ground Zero the first, you know, 24 hours with my mother. We were down there as volunteers. I cleared out a firehouse. I was with guys that I actually work with now. That first day, even though I wasn't actually a firefighter yet, I was, you know, right in the rubble. And then I went into the academy in October. And the only reason I went in and took the job was because A, I saw that firsthand, but B, the guy I became friends with over the year prior, his name is Benjamin Suarez, Benny. I found out a couple days after 9/11 that he died in the Trade Center. And I kind of said, you know, for him, I'll try this job out, because he always told me, you know, if you do it and you don't like it, you know, you go back to whatever else you're doing now. And if you don't like it, or if you want it, you do whatever you want. But you can't, you know, not take not take the job now and then a couple of years down the road say, oh, you know, I want to do this now. So I took my opportunity, and I don't regret it. And it's 14 years later now, and I haven't looked back, and it's been amazing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'll never forget. I was in college at the time, my college freshman at 9/11, and I went to class or something. They kind of sent everybody home without saying what's going on. Went to my friend's dorm room, where we were turning on the TV, and what was going on. And then the second one hit, and I was like, I mean, that's the craziest thing I have ever seen. Much respect. That's a tough to deal with. Much respect for that thing. Is it too late for me to sign up, though? Is there an age limit? Can I join?
There is an age limit, but I think you might be able to seduce them with your looks. And I don't know what it is in your neck of the woods. I know in the city there is an age limit, but
really, what if I hit the gym for a couple months and then just show up just shredded? I'm like, dude, there's nothing I can't do. No, they go by birth certificates. So you and Yoenis Cespedes would both have some splaining to do. What is he, 46?
Who the hell knows? He's just been like one of the most awesome things to happen to the Mets, other than Jacob deGrom. How do we transition from this like touching, moving, sentimental moment? Can we talk about? I don't want to. Well, I don't want to make light of it, but I was gonna say let's go to something else, kind of depressing, tragic. I don't know what the word would be, but that would.
We'll call this like, you can segment this like, you know,
Well,
depressing hour, get your Kleenex out. So, you know, kind of like soap operas for women. Like, just you can have that little segment where we just get real serious and
just commiserate, right?
emotional.
Okay, so I'll throw Jamal Charles in the mix then. Since this is a sports show, I'll try to bring it back to an athlete.
Yeah, man, it's always devastating when a superstar goes down. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, so many damn leagues in this basketball thing, they have me do all these free leagues, and I kind of lose track. But I may have them in one league. But yeah, it's just bad for the NFL. You never like to see it. Fantasy-wise, yeah, definitely, you know, one of my top 3 overall players this year, and, you know, it's just it's devastating. He's looked great, even though the Chiefs have been pretty shitty. He's been really good. I mean, even in that game where they got kind of killed by Green Bay, he somehow managed to have whatever 3 touchdown days somehow. Yeah, it's really too bad. I hate to see when a good player go down in any sport.
Yeah, and
I like to see the best people out.
I agree. But am I saying it right? Charkandrick West.
Your guess is as good as mine. Everybody's on him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Is it Chandrick or Shark? I don't know. I thought it was Chandrick. I don't know.
Chandrick? I thought it was like.
I'm probably wrong.
Let's just call him C West.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, C West is, like you said, everybody's hot air, but I don't think Niall Davis is necessarily somebody people should forget about yet. I mean, he knows this offense, and he's looked good whenever he's gotten the opportunity. So how all of a sudden they could write him off for somebody whose name we can't even pronounce yet? I'm not buying that completely.
I'm confused. You're exactly right. I don't understand how this has happened. They drafted Niall Davis. What was this? The same year Christian Michael got drafted. I remember that because I remember talking to my friends all the time about all the running backs that were drafted after Christian Michael, who some people were so obsessed with.
Right.
And now he's gone. So I kind of pay attention to all these guys. And yeah, he's looked. I thought he's looked real solid in the outings he's had. I mean, he's had to start a few games. He got work at the end of last year. Even when Charles was playing, they were kind of running him. He was getting some carries. I mean, I thought he's done good enough to at least be like, you're our guy. If he got
right.
This guy pops out of somebody's ass. I don't even know who. I mean, it's just weird to me that this guy surpassed him so quick. I think maybe because he's more like Charles, because he's like a little shiftier or something like that. Maybe they like that. Sketching. I don't know.
I agree, but and also to mention, like as you said, my guy Carlos Williams, he just jumped the depth charts in Buffalo before he had even done anything in preseason. Right. So it is possible, but I don't know. I can't imagine Niall Davis has eroded that much in 11 months or whatever it's been.
Last year he was playing all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least he said to start a game or two. Like, I mean, at least he's put in work. I mean, I thought he's looked more than serviceable. I thought he was a capable NFL starting running back.
Yeah, and I think he still is. So we'll see what happens. But you mentioned Christina, I think you call him, Michael. He's gonna be this is like the gift that keeps giving. Like nobody can forget this guy. He's now back in the mix. The Cowboys apparently are reworking their depth chart or whatever, and then they're gonna bypass Randall, or so they say. Who the hell knows? They got the bye week.
I'll believe that when I see that.
I don't know, but listen, I don't want to. I know you're pressed for time, and I just wanted to touch on a couple more things before we sign off for this debut. But I mentioned that you have now joined a new team, a new bandwagon, if you will. And I would like to give you this moment to explain yourself, welcome yourself to this club, this exclusive club, a club I actually despise, being that I'm a Jet fan. I don't even want to mention their name if you haven't picked up on that yet. But please, enlighten us with why. Because you've already made mention that the Bills are like your little brother, if you will.
They're like one of my children. If I had to child, they're kind of like, I loved them. I love Tyra. I love the whole team. I like the deep. I like the catch.
So
I feel bad for them. I want them to do good.
So you want to hang out with the Bills players. You don't necessarily want them to.
I want them to win. I want them to win a lot of games, but they're not going to go undefeated.
Okay.
Like my new team is.
And what is this new team?
You may know them as the world champion New England Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm just tired of the losing. I mean, after this last week's game, the Seahawks, they caused me too much pain. I was at the last Super Bowl. I witnessed the pain of just blowing a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and then having a chance to even make up for that by just from 1 yard out and not getting the job done. The worst loss, most devastating loss in any sports final play that I've ever heard of. concerned. If somebody can show me something better, like Buckner or whatever, the ball would, or like whatever, dude. Like, I mean, a ground ball, like, you know, you can miss a ground ball, whatever. But it was, to me, it was the worst. I was like dancing with the guard who's on the Jets now.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Signed him. I'm forgetting his name, but his whole family was sitting right behind me. So I was like talking with them the whole. We're dancing. We're like, we're doing this. We're doing this. Just I've never been so devastated in my life. We didn't stay celebration. We just got out of there. I wish. And then to start this year. So the Seahawks should have been coming off back-to-back world title. We should be talking like historic, like we should have been going for this. Then they trade for Jimmy Graham, who, by the way, is just totally like disappeared in this offense.
He looks like what he looks like. No, this is gonna be a bad.
They should have just traded for Brent Selleck.
They should have traded for Barnige. That's what they should have done.
Oh my God, yeah, let me get some Barnige. I mean, it just doesn't. These guys just don't seem to fit. I don't know if it's it might be people hate the O coordinator around here for the most part. I mean, maybe it's on him, man. Because I mean, we had Sidney Rice. He was okay. Harvin did not work at all.
This isn't
working. I'm like, dude, you know, what's the problem here? Like, how does this not work? Like, find a way to figure it out. Like, I mean, it's just really. And then this loss. You know, the first loss of the season at the Rams, you know, just disgusting. The guy fell on the ground and gave him a free TD. The game's over, and it's supposed to be like his historically good defense, okay? And they're giving up leads.
Well, they just got Cam back. Who was the glue to this defense, no?
Yeah, and then he just got roasted by Eifert all game yesterday, man. It was terrible. I think he graded out as like the second worst safety in the league during this last week.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just sick of it, man. The 24/7. I was changing channels. I'm like, this game's over. Like, I'm gonna check Red Zone for a few. Turn it back. I'm like, okay, what's happening?
I'd like to give some credit though to the Bengals. Everybody wrote them off. They had nobody last year. No tight end, no receivers. Everybody was hurt. They had a running game. That was it. And now they got everybody back.
That was my MVP of the league.
Yeah, so I don't think you should discount them. Beating the Seahawks.
Discount them, but you're up 24-7 and you have a defense.
No, but you
should be historically good. I mean,
you said it though. You said it though in the way like everybody beats the Bengals. They should have beat the Bengals. And the Bengals are.
Give it up to the Rams. I mean, they lost at Green Bay. That's totally acceptable. I mean, you kind of expect to lose that one, even though they were up in that one.
And they didn't have Cam. They didn't have Cam in that one.
Right.
Okay. I just hope maybe you should watch this a couple times, because I don't.
Embarrassing Cam shenanigans.
No. Watch this episode of us right now, so you can hear yourself, because I don't know if ever in the history somebody has been a diehard fan of a team that was a yard away from, as you mentioned, winning back-to-back Super Bowls.
I'll never forget the lie.
Has one of the best quarterbacks in young quarterbacks in the league. So the future remains. One of the best head coaches, solid defense. Again, 1 yard away from a second Super Bowl title. And that's not enough that he has to go and jump on the team that won. Do you even know how many they've won?
What?
Do you even know how many Super Bowls the Patriots have won?
Where are we at now? 4? 5?
I mean, how deep does your allegiance bleed at this point?
It goes back to the Tuck rule, man. I mean, I totally was on the Patriots side for that. That was just a great call. Really, really a great call there. And just kind of catapulted us to where we are now. I have a Drew Bledsoe autographed helmet.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
I do. So I was kind of hurt when Brady took over for him and kind of won. I felt bad for my boy because he was a legend in his day. Don't get it twisted. But you know, it goes back deep, man. Curtis Martin. No, Curtis Martin didn't play there. That was I'm thinking Robert Edwards, the guy who got drafted in the same draft the sand or something. He was tight, but he went out. But Corey Dillon, UW legend. Corey Dillon won me a Super Bowl there.
Okay.
A lot of great memories with the Patriots.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna be completely mad at you.
My Twitter followers live in New England. It just seemed like a nice little transition.
Okay. If you say, I'll take your word for it. I don't dislike some of the players. I mean, it's hard to not like Gronk. I kind of respect Kraft as an owner. Brady, he great man. You kind of have to, whether you like him or not, you kind of have to give some respect to Tom Brady, right? Belichick, they run a nice operation up there, but
they're the best there is, man.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, I think on that maybe we should probably end this because we've either gained a whole bunch of new respect or we've just considerably lost a good deal of it. Do you want to tell everybody where they can find your articles and more detailed work?
Yeah, man. I do the fantasy football work I'm kind of second in command over there on the football at rasball.com. I drop my stuff usually goes on Wednesday morning and Saturday morning, and I do rankings from Fantasy Pros. I'm on there. I got 21st or something this week. I don't know how many people there are in there, but that's probably my best week. I think I had just like an embarrassingly awful week the week before. So it's all. There's a lot of luck involved. I'm not one to sit here and say I'm going to scientifically run all the numbers, but I enjoy doing that, and so that's all there is. Beddict 143, or is it Tehol?
No.
143 on Twitter. BEDDICT 143. Find me on there. Always hoops, and that's all me. That's all I got.
You guys absolutely need to be following my buddy here because if you're not, for those who already know him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you're not, and you need a laugh, just follow him because he's a ball of originality.
I understand, man. I'm like only a few people say this, and I'm just like I think I just think I'm funnier than I really am. I'm like my followers just so stagnant. I'm just like, man, I've just been blackballed or something.
No, it's not.
It's all good.
It's like unfiltered, unbridled passion that just like it just drips out of your pores. Like it's obvious, but it's funny.
I think I've killed any chances of being signed up by ESPN or something. They go back. Got a Twitter feed. They go back and be like, hold up.
Yeah.
They'd be like, no. But I'm not gonna put myself on the line. I'm not gonna be somebody else.
No.
Just so one of these big corporations would maybe consider me if I really applied to do something like that. But I'm just gonna be me, and it's gonna work out the way it's gonna work out.
Well, I mean, hopefully we're starting our own, big corporation here with Nickel Press. So, we need you guys to subscribe to this channel and follow us and tell your friends. And, we'll give you some fantasy tips and secrets here and there. You probably get most of that stuff from following us on Twitter and asking us directly on there. We're going to try to use this platform an hour or whatever we go to just kind of, like I said, have fun and just go over some headline type of stuff and just give you a different take and perspective on it. So, I don't know. How do you think this went?
I think it went great, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Count me in every week, anytime, any place, on the road, in the car. I'm here. It's all good.
We gotta do a live mobile satellite of you on the road. Beddict on the road. I think that'd be entertaining. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time, and I know you do mine. So we will reconvene and do this another time. All right, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and